an interpreter in this church. I translate what is being said into American Sign Language. I learned American Sign Language when I was a little girl because both of my parents are deaf. Yes, that's right. I had the wonderful privilege of being born to deaf parents. Through the years, I watched them and their deaf friends struggle in a hearing world that just doesn't understand them. They seem to be all alone in the hearing world. Many feel sorry for them, assuming that the deaf have unfulfilled lives. But really, most of us haven't seen them with others who are deaf. Together they come to life because they can participate readily and communicate freely. Typical methods for reaching souls for Jesus are not reaching out to this large people group. It goes without saying that deaf ears can't hear radio programs. Most of our television programming is not closed captioned, and very few evangelistic meetings or church services are interpreted. So what evangelistic endeavor is left? Not only are we failing to reach deaf souls for Jesus, but we are also failing to nurture and disciple them after baptism. I have heard countless experiences. I've heard amazing stories. Even deaf children who are raised in good Christian homes grow up knowing very little about God. I've met deaf people who did not even pray to God because they thought God doesn't understand sign language. To them, God is the God of the hearing.
I saw that it is in the providence of God that widows and orphans, the blind, the deaf, the lame, and persons afflicted in a variety of ways have been placed in close Christian relationship to His church. It is to prove His people and develop their true character. Angels of God are watching to see how we treat those persons who need our sympathy, love, and disinterested benevolence. This is God's test of our character.
Then I saw another angel flying high in the air. He had the eternal good news to preach to those who live on earth, to every nation, tribe, language, and people.
The church has provided an interpreter. It's really wonderful and nice to have an interpreter. I am able to listen or see the service. It's such a benefit to my spiritual growth. When there's not an interpreter scheduled, I just stay at home and be alone. It's disappointing.
To every nation, tribe, language, and people. A deaf person needs the same opportunity as any hearing person to receive salvation and faith.
Ministry involves relationships and investing time in another person. Providing interpreted services is important, even vital, but this is no substitute for authentic relational ministry. Everyone in the church has a part.
I want all the deaf people with me in heaven.
When I get to heaven and meet God face to face, I will look behind me, and who do I want to see? A long line of deaf people. I want to tell them, come on.
Let's not, because of neglect, take away from anyone the opportunity to know Jesus Christ. Deaf people have the right to accept or reject Jesus. Will you help?
Jesus cannot come until the deaf know about Him.